Cold, dark, and isolated. These are the words I would choose to describe Sentinel Site when I first stumbled upon it deep in the glowing sea. Centuries after the bombs fell, this concrete obelisk still stands, hiding the stains of the old world. Today, let's take a walk and explore the cold history of Sentinel Site. As we approach the structure, it resembles a mountain of concrete. Officially, prior to the war, the facility was a nuclear munitions disposal site. However, in reality, it was a missile silo that stockpiled one of the largest holdings of Mark 28 nuclear warheads in the United States. As we enter the facility, we can begin to see the true extent of this concrete catacomb. Although the facility is in disrepair, it is mostly functioning and looks like it was left as is when the bombs fell. Continuing down the path, we will find our way to the first control pod with our first skeleton. I believe this skeleton is one of the researchers working on the silo when the bombs fell. Reading the terminal, we can get some further insight. Upon reading the terminal, we learn that the skeleton was most likely Richard Elmsby. We also learn that prior to the war, the site was tasked with attaching the Mark 28 nuclear bomb to existing ICBMs, most likely in response to escalations around the world. Despite their current attempts, it appears that the team is struggling to complete this goal. Continuing deeper into the pyramid, we can see signs of all sorts of projects at the time the bombs fell. Continuing further, we find ourselves in the second control room with the second terminal log. Upon reading the terminal, we learn of a new researcher, Patrick Tharn. In his report, he states that a recent test destroyed a bunch of the Mark 28s, but this did not matter because of their nearly endless supply. He reflects that he does not know where this supply comes from, which showcases the shady, corrupt nature of the old world. Continuing onward, we stumble upon the body of Patrick, crushed by a filing cabinet that I believe was sent through the ceiling as a result of the shockwave. Heading down the stairs, we stumble upon another body, and although this could be Patrick as well, I believe it's more likely that Patrick was upstairs, as it looks like that was his workstation, and he would have been closer to that at the time. Downward we go and we find ourselves in the main launch room. We know that this is the main launch room due to the launch terminal located by the control interface. Inside of the control room we can find two more skeletons. The first one is just a pile of bones, however the second one is more interesting. It appears to have fallen down the elevator shaft, either pushed or trying to escape some sort of danger. Reaching the bottom of the shaft, we find our first signs of recent activity. Fresh ghouls and dead children of the atom. Now I think it's safe to assume that the children are here to gather some of the nukes for their religion. As we proceed into the heart of the facility, we can find more bodies. And although obvious, I think it's worth pointing out that the children of Adam were obviously fighting some sort of battle in order to enter the facility. Entering deeper and we find the barracks. The barracks appear to be lived in, suggesting that the children have been here for some time. Heading deeper into the tunnels and we can further see the extent of this catacomb. As we are exploring, we run into a mix of both feral ghouls and ghoul corpses, suggesting that many of the children of Adam changed while they were staying here. After navigating the steel and concrete maze, we finally make it to the vault room, sealed shut by a steel door protecting it from the children of Adam trying to get in from outside. Inside of the control room we can find a terminal to the door, as well as a log from a Captain Mitch Dunleavy of the 132nd Engineering Corps.
This is Captain Mitch Dunleavy, 132nd Engineering Corps at Sentinel Site, Prescott. All lines of communication are down, and we're tracking multiple inbounds on radar. If this is a drill, we need confirmation immediately. We've got a lot of nervous soldiers over here, Command. If this is the big one, they want to head home to their families before it's too late. Some of the inbounds are getting awfully close. Wait a minute. The inbounds are splitting into multiple targets? Oh, hell. This is it, isn't it? May God have mercy on our souls.
The log captures Captain Mitch's final moments as he asks Command for confirmation to see whether this is a test or not. And this showcases, while even though there is a global conflict going on, people were still ill-prepared that day for the end of the world. And with that, our walk is concluded, and the sins of the old world remain dormant in Sentinel Site.
Geiger counter in my hand.
I'm going out to stake me some government land.
Uranium feed